Good morning, Sam.
Good evening, Mallory.
Welcome back to Nobody Leaves. We're bringing a weird energy to this podcast, but we're going to talk about Heartstopper, a really positive show where we feel really good. We're really proud. Pride, slay, honey, yes, okay. And you can skip ahead if you want to listen to us talking about Heartstopper, but we're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. This is going to be a feel-good vibe. This podcast is about vibes, and we're creating a vibe where we're trying to be comforting to you. And we're going to make you
would
feel
deny
welcome.
the audience, you would encourage the audience to skip the intro where I talk about Silksong for the fourth week in a row.
Listen, I have a lot of love for you, Sam, and I think...
And none of it's related to my love of Silksong.
And, you know... Alright, so tell me about Silksong, Sam. I'm not doing a good job.
You sound so excited. What do you mean?
I'm really excited.
I don't understand.
Sam, tell me about skong. I've heard this word.
I have heard Skong stocks are rising this week. Last week I talked about all the annoying controversy about how it's too difficult. This week, everyone's a baby. I'm at the very end of Act 2 of this game. This game has 3 acts, as far as I know, maybe more. I've been really trying to avoid spoilers. It has taken... I have played this game for 48 hours.
Whoa.
It came out less than 2 weeks ago. So, like, I don't know, math is hard. Like 12.5%, 15% of my life has been Silksong in this past 2 weeks. It's really good. It's so good, Mallory. I can't. I love Hollow Knight, and now I'm like, is Silksong better? It is so good. That's all I'm going to say on the topic. I have been to multiple funerals for bugs in this game. It goes places. It has such interesting, weird characters and such a weird tone, and it's funny, and it's kind of emotional, and I'm getting near the end. I'm like knocking on the door of the final boss of Act 2, which is maybe the final boss of the game. I don't really know how that works. I know there's a third act. I'm trying to figure out how to start it without spoiling stuff for myself. But this game is just, it's electric. It's so good. And that's Skong conversation over. A minute and a half into the podcast. We're good.
That was a really good skong conversation.
This has been Skong Watch.
This has been Skong Watch. I think that it's good that a good game exists, and I'm glad. Hearing you say about that is very inspiring. Like, I don't know, I'm more and more tempted to be like, oh, maybe I'll try this thing out, you know? But I think it seems hard, though. But, I mean...
Listen, it's kind of hard as shit. I'm not going to lie. People are big babies, but also... there have been some bosses where I've maybe like gripped that controller a little hard and been like, all right, I'm not having fun right now. And I'm having fun. All the things around this I'm having fun about, but this, The Last Judge, not having that much fun. But you hit flow states where it's like, I'm powerful. I can beat anything I come across. I'm just like, boss, like defeated. And then you just get like completely roadblocked and you're like, all right, this is gonna, I might just go like take a nap and come back and do this. Like it is, there's something about it. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel that. I think like whenever I get back to having a crack at Deltarune, like, I don't know. Well, we have to see, like, my dream is that, like, post, like, beating that, like, one boss fight that I really care about beating, like, that I'll be, like, changed, and that I'll have, like, learned to deal with, like, hardship, but, I mean,
You'll
we'll
play
see.
Elden Ring blindfolded backwards.
Yeah,
no, I understand.
exactly.
Inverted controller on a Guitar Hero stick. Yeah, I get you.
It's impressive dedication. I far more relate to the feeling of, like, I'm gonna go eat lunch now. Like, I'm just not gonna do this anymore. Like, yeah, that's.
But if I do that, I won't get to see the bug funeral. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot quicker with my YouTube fingers. Like, it's just just looking up spoilers. Yeah, not a very patient person, but I'm impressed. It's actually interesting. Like, it's always interesting to me with like releases with like games and stuff like that when it comes to like the rollout of when people are able to discuss it. Yeah, because I think I more often follow like TV shows and movies, and it's like people pretty quickly are able to like discuss whatever the latest episode is, or like if it's like a batch of 4 episodes on like Netflix or something, you can pretty much time it down to the minute of like, oh, everyone's kind of like live reacting to this together. But it's generally like people don't go on until they've like finished the whole thing. But yeah, like the game thing was interesting. Like I felt that with Deltarune, because it was like, yeah, like how long is it going to take for everyone to like defeat all of these challenges and get all of these things and unlock all of these things, and like
there were people
how
talking
many...
about chapter 4 of Deltarune when I was like 3 hours into chapter 3, and I'm like, did you beat everything within your first play session? Like, is that a fun way to play? I don't think it is. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. And like also when it comes to like people like discovering new stuff, it's like, how long is it going to take in a game that has like a lot of Easter eggs, which like, I mean, I can only assume that this game that's been in development for
Silksong full of secrets, right?
Yeah,
full of like
right.
surprises.
Like how deep into its lifespan are all of these going to be like uncovered, like I think with Deltarune it was like, how like I was looking really into the prophecy. I'm like, how long is it going to be before we've like unearthed all the game files and we like have everything together? It's like a very interesting topic. So yeah, I'm impressed at your ability to have avoided all of these spoilers so far.
I've seen the name of Act 3, and let me tell you, it's a heater. And I'm like, what does that mean? I know what that means, but what does that mean, Mallory? What does it mean? The fact that they're like,
Silk.
Everyone has a different opinion, right? Like some people would consider the fact that like just saying that the game has 3 acts is a spoiler. The game starts with like putting it all out there. The game starts and it's like Act 1, and I'm like, what is the Hollow Knight had no acts? What does this mean? Like, and I think that implies 3 acts, right? But then I'm 48 hours into the game and I'm not through Act 2 yet, and I'm like, okay, well, when does it start? Like, when is Act 3 like a boss? Is it another 20 hours? What does it mean? Like, I don't. I'm very curious.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I the what is and isn't classified as spoiler is also like a very interesting like topic. There's
a
actually
genre of Blue Sky post that I'm really appreciating, which is like kind of obscured Silksong like screenshot, if you know you know, and just like the word fuck. Like, then I'm like, I get it. Sinner's Road, hate that place. Like, I just like there's a if you know you know that there's a handful of people I follow who are like progressing through the game at about the same pace as me, and I'm just like, hated that place, did that last night, or like, what is that? I'm scared. Like, it's good.
It's coded language. Yeah, I like it. It's interesting because like, speaking of, I'm bringing up Deltarune because it's my only point of reference for caring about a video game anymore, but like they released like a new newsletter actually this week for chapter 5, kind of like updates, and the like he was saying that like he really cannot share a lot and doesn't want to share a lot until the chapter's out, but he's like, I can break you guys off this, like, here's a cutscene, and it's just like the like Mike characters in the like like Castletown
Control
place or whatever
thing. Yeah,
just having like a conversation or whatever. And yeah, it's interesting the scale of like, there's some people who wouldn't want even like joke dialogue spoiled because they want to experience that in the game, or like Pokemon Legenza, like they're releasing like designs for like new Mega Evolutions and stuff like that, and it's like some people like want to play the game and discover these like Mega Evolutions through the game, versus like, I feel like most people don't care, but some people
I feel like if I wanted
that,
to, I could know every single thing about Pokemon ZA like right now if I wanted to know.
I mean,
am I wrong in that assumption?
There's still like there's enough kind of like there's speculation now because we're getting new mega evolutions. This is my way of transitioning us into a topic that I am interested in.
That you care about. No, I understand.
is like they've so there's kind of like a squad of characters, it seems like, that your protagonist is going to interact with. I'm sure they'll all be
much
really
like
great.
everyone's favorite feature of X and Y.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. But like they all have like they've been shown with like their signature key Pokemon or whatever that their like design looks kind of similar to. So there's a lot of like, are these the ones that are getting megas? Like, is everyone getting a mega? Like that kind of speculation is going on a lot. But I still think like, I think Pokemon, they always keep like some little goodies. Like there's always like a couple Pokemons when the game actually comes out. They're like, ooh, you know, Goldengo.
Yeah, like did in Scarlet and Violet, like was the mouse house Pokemon like heavily featured? Because that was my highlight.
I can't remember if that one was actually revealed. My favorite one was Goldengo. Do you know Gimmighoul?
You're gonna have to help me a little bit here.
Okay,
these are the games that I disliked enough to not finish, so you're gonna have to help.
Did you miss Grusha, the Ice Type gym leader?
You're just making up names. No, I think the Ice Type gym leader is the last person I fought.
Really? Okay, Trans
I think
Icon.
Yes.
They made like a Pokemon called Gimmighoul, and it's like a little gray guy. And he looks like a little, like, he looks like a little gingerbread man, and he's got antennas, and he has a coin, and he holds a coin, and he puts it on his back. And then if he gets enough coins, he goes in a treasure chest, and he goes, like that.
I do know
so
that.
That's
I know the Pokemon you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty good idea for a Pokemon. They revealed that pre-thing. They didn't reveal the evolution, which is Pokemon number 1000, which I'm really passionate about, because my whole life I was like, what are they gonna make Pokemon 1000? Like that was the thought that I had when I was 7,
and the
answer
finally
is released
just another Pokemon.
It's Goldengo, which is like, it's like a fully gold standing guy, and he's kind of shaped like that, and he's like a tube, and he's got like 3 big hairs, and he rides a surfboard. And you're like, yes, yeah, I love that guy. That's a good Pokemon. It's a good idea for a Pokemon, and that was a secret. And then you play the game, and you're like, oh, you can get Goldengo in this game. Good Pokemon. Love
you sound
Goldengo.
to me like how the bugs talk in Silk Song, where they just say like gibberish. It's like Krashanka, Goldango. Like that's. I'm like, okay.
You've lost your whimsy, Sam. You've lost.
No, I'm all whimsy about Hollow Knight. I've replaced Pokemon with like, look at this little bug guy. He crawls. He goes like up and down, where like this one goes side to side. Like they're so cute.
Sam, can I get your? Have you seen the new Mega Evolutions? Do you care about spoilers? Can I get your reactions? Can I get your reactions to Mega Greninja? This is a huge topic for me.
I think, by and large, every starter Pokemon Mega Evolution has been lame. Is that a controversial take? Like, I think in a like, I was once 8 years old, like the Charizard that has like the blue flames and is like the shiny version looking Charizard, that kind of works for me still. But like Mega Swampert, Mega Blaziken, Mega Sceptile, Mega Blastoise, I kind of like, but like they all just Mega Venusaur or Mega, they all just kind of wash over me, and I'm just like, these are like really safe. And that's kind of how I feel seeing the X and Y evolutions. Yeah. I like some more than others. I like the what's Finnegan's evolution?
Delphox.
I like the Delphox one the most because it's kind of like Kiki's Delivery Service-y a little bit, like the witches and the brooms and all that. I'm like, okay, I kind of like that. But it's kind of lame. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're just bigger, and their elements are just more emphasized.
Yeah, I think they're all standard. I guess I sometimes see people posting online, and this is what I don't like. It's just like, this is lazy, or like, I can't believe what they did to Greninja. And I'm like, okay, chill out. Like it's a mega of a Pokemon.
I'm
It's
not
just
that
gonna be a
precious
different color.
about any one Pokemon. Like, they've already made a lame Swampert evolution, and Mudkip's my favorite. So it's like, that's fine.
You don't like
Lame.
Buff Swampert came out right after Buff Knuckles and Buff Natsuki. That was like part of the meme. It was like everyone's becoming buff. Um,
What do you think about them as someone who actually like has investment in these Pokemon?
I like the Greninja because it's upside down, and not enough people are appreciating that. That's my that's my hot take. It's pretty good.
He's channeling
he
his
stands
chakra
upside
into
down.
the tree, like
Yes,
team 10 or team 7.
literally, and the idea that he can like move his shuriken around and like just like stand on it and be like I'm like that's a good idea. The others are standard. I'm like Delphox is like the most upsetting Pokemon to me because Braixen is one of my favorite. I love Braixen because she's really cute. It's like because her tail is a witch's broom, and then she takes
the
stick
rare
out and uses
middle
the magic
evolution
wand.
being more interesting than the third, right?
Yeah, and like she's really like feminine, and then Delphox is just like feels like this bland genderless mage, and like genderless in a not
feels
fun
like,
way to me.
Like palette swapped Gardevoir. That's kind of what I've always felt.
Yeah, but like
the
Gardevoir,
shape of
Gardevoir is
Delphox.
more like chic. Delphox to me just feels like a monk wearing like just bland potato robes. Like I just don't like the
I
look of
understand.
Delphox. And Mega Delphox is like okay, it just looks like kind of cooler. I feel like if Delphox looked cool, I would be like, okay, it's not my
Mega
favorite,
Delphox would
but
look really cool.
it's something. But yeah, like Mega Delphox is like, oh, I feel like maybe Delphox should have looked a little bit like this, and I just want the broom motif to be kept. Like, I don't.
Is there a generation of starters where there's like a clear winner more than X and Y? Like, I feel like Greninja is so much is more popular than like the generation he's in, and I can't think of another generation where like there's an undisputed winner basically.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, cause like Incineroar's in Smash Bros, but I don't know. Like,
It's a good one.
People really like Primarina. I like Rowlet. That's like my favorite starter. um, but I'm like about the Decidueye. Like, I don't know. It's tough. I feel ambivalent towards like plenty of Pokemon, but I think I don't like when people get so mad about it.
Saying a design is lazy like taps into that like internet like I could design a game better kind of mentality, which I instantly am like I'm not on their side. I also think this is like lame, but I'm not with them. Like don't pair me with those people.
It's the worst thing. I really like the lazy critique. I think really gets my goat. It's like yeah, just like because I've been another thing I've been getting into is like I've just all like Steven Universe stuff is like igniting with like on the hill towards Lives of the Stars. I have no idea when that's even coming out, but you know like thinking about it, talking about it, and like the amount of people were like a certain episode would like look bad or different or whatever and would be like it's lazy. I'm like, girl, like, because they did a thing on that show where they're like, oh, we're gonna like change the animation style like episode to episode, and then
people who don't
like,
find that cool are like not my friends. I don't know how else to put it.
I'm like, yes, I'm not going to like every episode like equally because the art styles are different. Like so inherently, I'm gonna prefer some of them.
There are some art styles that to me I thought looked fugly, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's fine. It's more interesting than just another like generic looking episode.
Yeah, and then if you like look at the progression of the show over time, like the designs evolved so much, and like the way that characters were drawn like evolved so much over time, and I think it's like because there was so much flexibility there, like it feels like it was allowed to just like progress in all these unique, interesting ways, and I'm like, I don't know, it's tiring me out, Sam. I'm so grumpy.
Mallory joined the call today and was like, I'm in a mood, I'm grumpy, and I'm like, Mallory, it's the Heartstopper season 2 episode. This is your Super Bowl. What do you mean? Did you maybe like stay up too late many days in a row to get out a K-pop Demon Hunters video? Is that what maybe happened?
Trans rights. I made a video about Remy from K-pop Demon Hunters being trans, and it's really good, and you should watch it. And I worked really hard, but I did really no life it for like 2 weeks in a row, and I really did not do a lot other than work on it. I really did run home from work and just edit and then fall asleep and then edit and go to work, and I like it. I think it's a good video. Sam hasn't watched it yet. Sam, I would recommend that you watch like up until it's like a 29-minute video. I think about minute 27 or 8, and then I get into the outro, and you can just kind of like skip the outro. Like there's nothing there about you, so just don't even worry about that. But yeah,
well, now
like
I'm very worried.
But yeah, I worked really hard, and this is my negativity right now.
I have a podcast with a homophobic, straight, white, anti-ally terrorist.
This is my podcast with my friend and free speech advocate, Sam. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the other thing that you said you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so I told Mallory that I watched a piece of media that had me feeling a lot of different ways about certain recent events. 2 days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I watched The Long Walk in movie theaters. So The Long Walk is... I'm just going to tell you everything about it, because I don't think you're ever going to watch this movie. It's based on a Stephen King book, or a short story. Novella, maybe. He has a lot of books and stories, and I read this in high school and don't remember it. Here's the premise, right? 50, like, teenage, early adult boys, men, are put in a contest in, like, a post-economic collapse America, where, like, America is still around, but it kind of sucks, even more than it does now. And things have gotten bad, and now people enter a lottery, and they join what's called the Long Walk, where these 50, I want to call them boys, because they're very, like, innocent, and that's part of, that plays into the story. They are all, like, put on a road and told to walk, and last one to stop walking wins. What do they win? A vague amount of money, and, like, they get a wish, basically. Like, what can the government do for you? And this is used as, like, a propaganda tool to, like, encourage productivity and patriotism and things that go really great when you're living in, like, a Fall of Rome style America. So it's go until the last person, finishes walking, right? Like, until the last person stop. Like, what does that mean? Well, if you stop walking for, like, 30 seconds... you're shot in the head. And so 49 of 50 characters in this movie are going to be shot in the head, in the face, like, throughout the movie. It makes for a very somber, very strange viewing in a week where, like, the main story is a person in real life getting assassinated. And so I got caught up in my feelings. And for some brief moments here and there, I maybe felt bad about current situations. And I'm not saying people have to feel bad about current situations, but it made me feel just bummed out. And that whole news story made me feel bummed out. Not because I particularly like that person. I don't. And that person would fucking spit in my face if they knew me before they died. And they wouldn't mourn my death. But I'm not that person. I'd like to think I'm better than that person, morally, ethically, all those things. But it just felt it was a really weird time to watch this movie. And that's all I really want to say about that.
Have you ever seen The Hunger Games?
So the person who directed this movie directed The Hunger Games.
No!
Not even fucking with you. It's very weird.
It was like, that's a phenomenal career. They just kept going on the same idea. Yeah.
This is like an R-rated Hunger Games, but also, like, they can't directly, like, interfere with each other, so it's all mind games for like 2 hours. And the boys, like, some of them form like alliances and like camaraderie, and by the time it gets to like 4 or 5 people, they're not even like competing with each other as much as they're like sticking it to the society that they are stuck in. But at the end of the day, they have no control, and it's like, how do you express yourself, or how do you like gain victory morally in a scenario where there is no winning? Like, it drummed up a lot of feelings about the current state of the world and the United States in particular, and the fact that it takes place in the United States in a like not too distant future. It's a weird time. Weird time to watch that movie.
Do you know what I would do?
What would you do? You would simply not.
Yep.
That was like my Letterboxd review. Essentially, is like, I would simply walk longer. Like, I think I would win.
No, I would just. They'd be like, all right, you have to walk the farthest to get a wish, and everyone else is gonna die. They would like open the like horse skates or whatever that they used to like release you, and I would just be like, stop, and then they'd be like, and they'd be like, wow, any last words, and I'd be like, you suck, idiot.
There are people who, to varying degrees of success, essentially try and do that. Like, either they try and run away, or they try and like have a big message before they die, or some of them even like rush the people. Like, the whole movie, most of the time, the whole movie they're being escorted by like soldiers with guns, and those people are like instructed to like not talk to them, so they're just kind of like these faceless, nameless agents of government, which feel very evocative. Even those stories from the 80s, they feel like you can apply like an ICE agent to this now if you wanted to, and those are some of the things I thought about watching this movie in current year or what have you. But sometimes people charge those agents, and sometimes they grab their guns, and stuff happens. And the movie, it's a very interesting like story, but it's very nihilistic, it's very like futile, but it's just good. It was interesting. Changed my mind, you know. I don't know.
Dang it. Well, this was a really long walk to get to the topic.
Let's talk about something like way happier.
You know, Sam, if I got shot in the head in the long walk, my heart would definitely stop.
Do you think you'd get you'd be like laid in rest at the Capitol building, or like get an Air Force 2 like transport? Do you think that would happen, Mallory? Beloved Nobody Leaves podcast host.
We lost a good one. I think that what would probably happen? There might be like a newspaper article, like a little thing about like this person died today, and then there would just be like some article about. I don't even have a joke.
You don't even. Okay, well,
I thought I would find it. I thought I would find it when I was like, I'll just start talking, and then I'll come up with a joke.
And then it will happen. Yeah, you'll have the great poignant,
really do.
Funny but not offensive, nuanced. Everyone's got to take.
I don't like Republicans. How's that?
God,
hey, this is basically what I wanted to say.
I know I've said some homophobic stuff in the past.
Sam, this week we're Heartstopper Season 2. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month in September, Mallory.
Sam, Heartstopper Season 2. A lot of dark stuff is happening in this world, in this messed up freaking world that we were all cursed to live in. And life itself may be a curse. You know, it's like, if I'd never existed at all, I would never have to suffer this pain. But thankfully, we have a break free from this endless spiral of darkness that we're all trapped upon. And that is the pride with which I view this television series of little British teenagers just kind of looking at each other and be like, I wonder if she likes me. And then being like, and then being like,
a lot of teehees in Heartstopper Season 2.
A lot of musical like
Lot of
montages, a lot of segments of just kind of like just a lot of kissing compilations,
kissing.
and a lot of kissing.
As a free speech advocate, I did not appreciate. No, I'm kidding. I think this should be censored, and everyone should be fired for making the show.
It's free speech, which is why that you should.
Which is why we should ban these books, these comics.
Get the mouths away from each other and make them speak and say things instead of like.
As a free speech advocate, Heartstopper should be taken out of schools.
Why wasn't David, the brother of Nick? Why wasn't David allowed to be debated in the marketplace of ideas? Let's start there.
I had a lot of thoughts about that. I feel like he was unfairly shut down at that dinner party.
Why wasn't Harry invited
characters
to
that
the
spoke
party?
to me in Heartstopper season 2? Harry, David, Ben the rapist, like really these characters, these unsung heroes of season 2. If I can't do this, people are gonna everything in this podcast is an illusion. It's all sarcasm, it's all fun and games. I am an ally, I promise.
Yeah, and I was
joking.
joking.
Talk Heartstopper for another podcast.
I was joking, guys. I don't hate Republicans.
Mallory loves Republicans. I love I am Republican. I'm not. I am. I didn't even like saying that. Yeah, Heartstopper season 2. Mallory, when did you get into Heartstopper? Like, how much of it was already out? Have you been there since day one?
No, not at all. My friend recommended it to me because it's really good. And they had like read the books and comics and stuff, and they said you should check it out. But I didn't get to it for a while, and I think it was actually the like Kit Connor like outing case that like made me first like look into the series and then actually go ahead and like watch it. But yeah, that was like pre.
Help me out here. Kit Connor plays Nick or Charlie?
Yes, Nick. So
Nick, got it.
he, I guess outing like he outed himself as bi, but he like there was just this whole group of like weird fans that were harassing him and wanting him to be really gay, and then being like, oh, if like you're a straight actor stealing queer roles or whatever, and yeah, he ended up coming out as bi, but was kind of like forcibly like outed because
a lot of people being super normal about a kind-hearted like LGBT representative show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and like missing the point of like season 1, I think is like very. I mean, season 2, I guess also like touches on those issues, but yeah, like the forcing someone out when they're not comfortable and like forcing people to put a label on stuff that they maybe haven't figured out, especially like young people, sucks. We talked about this in the first time we covered Heartstopper, but
we did.
It's been a while.
Life imitates art.
But yeah, like that's when I first discovered it. So that's when I watched season 1, and then season 2 and 3 I have been like I watched both of them like as they were released. Like I've been part of the fan hype train or whatever.
That's what I was curious about. Was like, were people excited for season 2? How did people react to this season? Because I would say that like very baseline impression is like not a lot happens, and so I'm curious if people were like frustrated by a lack of progress, or they were like, hey, it's new and different and they're doing things a little differently this season, and people were excited about it, not excited about it. I want to know what like the tone is before I give my own opinion. It's
kind of tough. Like I think that's like kind of why I wanted to like talk through the seasons with someone, because I think like Heartstopper in general is like, I think season 1 is probably the best, and it's like little bit sliding down from there. I think that's not a rare thing to happen in television. We have like our Bear episode where we talk very passionately for a very long time about how annoyed we are at like the kind of declining
later seasons of the Bear. Just
like, got
0 Emmys after winning like 2 seasons worth of Emmys in a row.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think that like yeah, it's like it's hard to find a gray take online. Like I think there's just positivity of people like responding to specific stuff. I think that like ultimate, like if I'm giving just my thesis statement on the show, it's like I think that does stuff that there aren't other shows out there doing that stuff. So you're inevitably going to just kind of like have people be very excited about. And when I'm saying stuff, I'm talking about like representation and telling types of stories about different queer people plugged into like tropes about those people and stories that we want to avoid and all these kinds of things that are they're dotting their I's and they're crossing their T's and they're getting it right with like a bunch of different niche queer identities. That is, for people who are part of those communities, is very good. I happen to be in one of those communities. If you can't tell, I'm actually a cisgender asexual, but that's a joke. That doesn't. I couldn't think of a good joke. I'm transgender, but the point is like I'll see posts of like asexual people being like really happy and like overjoyed about like this, that, the other, and then I'll see like, this is awful, this is unrealistic, like in real life they'd all be bullied and they wouldn't have any friends. And like takes like that where I'm kind of like, okay, like just all right, let it out, like let out your trauma, it's okay. Like
a lot of bins out there, you know.
But yeah, like if I were to say my take, I think that like the problem is season 1. I also haven't read the comics, to be fair, but I think season 1 like skips and cuts a lot of stuff from like later chapters in the comics and puts it all in that one season. And there's very much a vibe of like, we didn't know if we were gonna get a season 2, so we wanted to like touch all our bases and make something that like landed and hit all this representation. And because of that, and because of the fact they're like adapting another material, I think the later seasons kind of suffer from it, of like just plot momentum and stakes kind of being
from a human
weird.
Drama perspective, there's not much going on in season 2.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Compared to season 1. Like season 1 is like someone discovering their identity, wrestling with that. There's a lot of like, will they, won't they? There's a lot of, what does it mean to realize you're gay and to come out as gay? And I started so I think I'm going to be a contrarian here, where I think I liked season 2 more, but maybe it's just because I had more time to like adapt to these characters. And before I get to what I liked, I will say, I think a very fair reading, and a reading that I kind of have, is like season 1 ends and I'm like, okay, Nick's out. What is that going to mean? And then 6 episodes of season 2 later, Nick is actually out. And I'm like, I thought we resolved that. He basically like homecoming king carried Charlie away on the like on the rugby pitch. And I'm like,
right.
Is he not out? The season started and I was amazed that people did not know that they were in a relationship. Like starting from minute 1 of season 2.
Yeah.
And then it does take 6 episodes to get there. But I do think that like sitting in that, what does it mean to come out, and how do these things happen gradually? Because they do happen gradually in real life, right? Yeah. I think that it was surprisingly like more introspective and deeper and more interesting to me than maybe some of the more like melodramaticness of season 1. But then the season ends and Charlie's like hesitating to tell Nick, I love you. And I'm like, haven't they done that already? Like it did the exact same thing where I'm like, is season 3 going to be 6 episodes of like, when are they going to tell each other they love them? Like, I was like, aren't we already there? It seems like they were there. Like they damn near have sex multiple times in this season. They're making out like every episode. They've been through so much together. They've already been through like parental troubles and all this different thing, and they haven't told each other they love them, and they've been dating for months. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I cannot believe it doesn't connect with like what the show is to me, that like they have that's going to be a plot point.
It's funny. Yeah, I don't want to spoil season 3 for you, because
maybe it's resolved in the first episode, but like I just the fact the coming out,
the fact that it is a thing,
being more than half the season after a season that already felt like it covered all that ground, like covered like 95% of it, and then it's like, all right, the last 5%.
Yeah, no, I think that like it's interesting because like yeah, I think the thing that is a struggle for me is kind of like missing that like this like I start one way and I end another way type of thing, like that like central conflict as much. I think you're right in that like I do think that there is a lot of like introspection and like specific. I like that there are so many specific circumstances that are shown, like the truth or dare that's potentially outing someone, or like the like
the Hickey episode
the
ending.
Hickey,
Pretty very very well done, very funny, but
good
also
episode.
like a good cliffhanger in a silly way.
Yeah, and like the like how do we react to someone being like, "Are you too gay?" And he's like, "So what if I am?" You know, like that kind of thing. Like showing these like variety of different situations and the degree to which you're out, the becoming more and more comfortable being open, being in situations where like as you were saying, he like homecoming king carries Charlie off of the court. Like there are so many people who have pretty much figured it out. Like there's his like three.
Hey, where's Nick? Oh, he and Charlie are taking romantic selfies on the Eiffel Tower. Oh, cool. Does he want to play rugby later? Like, there's so many moments where it's like, is everyone an idiot? Like
Yeah.
they are
well,
not.
The three rugby boys are really funny to me because they like they all know, and then there's
They
just
all
a bunch
seem
of
to
scenes
know,
of
right?
them kind of putting their foot in their mouth of being like, yeah, no, it's really. They're like, why'd you say that? Like, because they're trying to let him tell them, you know, which is a thing, you know. It's like people.
It is a thing, but
Yeah.
I don't think the show is saying that's all the characters, but it should be all the characters because they're about as like they're as out as they could possibly be without being out or without Nick being out. Like it is.
Yeah.
And I liked how they this season did like social media a little more than season 1, where I thought he's excited and he wants to share, like he has this deep romantic but also like friendship with Charlie, right? And so his Instagram is like, if someone wanted to internet sleuth this person, like an Imogen who wants to like maybe like date Nick and is like, he's posting a lot of posts about Charlie, but it goes against what Nick is trying to do in terms of trying to stay in the closet or what have you, and it's just like that feels very 15-16-year-old behavior to me in a great way that felt like true to life, of like you're too excited and you want to. All teenagers do is share and overshare, and so when you have a secret, it's very hard to keep a secret when you're like a teenager.
Totally.
And I thought that was like also, very sweet.
Like speaking of the outing thing, like as unrealistic as elements of it may be in terms of like you're hugging and carrying the openly gay kid around, like people are gonna, you know, I've been bullied for a lot less. I've had in elementary.
This isn't like
school,
you wore a pink shirt. Like this is like
in elementary
they're
school,
walking hand in hand, skipping through the halls of the high school, but like they're just really good friends.
Me and my best friend in elementary school, we pressed our foreheads together because we were seeing like if we can. It's like it looks like you only have one eye. And we're like, whoa, that's cool. And then it's like, you were kissing. And then it's, you know, it's like, it doesn't take much for kids to descend on you. But I think I like what Heartstopper does, which it's doing a certain specific thing, which is painting a more idealized, romanticized thing where they have the same fear. They're importing the same fears that we have in the real world, but everything's just going to kind of work out. And it's like kind of a fantasy safe, like just, you know, all dessert and no dinner type of like series, I think, in a way that is sorely lacking.
Yes, and maybe I've been harsh about the series in the past, and maybe I consider it to be pretty lukewarm as far as like a dramatic like series, right? Like I think it's a lot of like, I don't want to say small problems, but it's a lot of the way it's presented makes everything smaller, right? Like there's not a lot of tension or drama or what have you. But I think that's okay because this is like, we don't need another 100 Brokeback Mountains, right? We get that being not heteronormative can be tragic. It has tragic elements to it, right? Of like, it can be hard on you as a person because of bad people in the world, right? Change my mind. But it's nice that this show can be kind of bland, and that it's saying that like gay people and LGBTQ people can live bland, normal, not that difficult of lives, and that's good.
Yeah, totally.
Not to minimize
and like
their troubles, but I think the show
Yeah.
minimizes their troubles.
I think people can miss that sometimes of like or they're almost expecting it. I think when there's the response of like, where's the pain and the trauma and the bullying, and it's like some of those things are referenced as like happening off screen or having had happened, but it is very much like making a point by being just wholesome and being like sweet, because like I think when we talk about like, because I think sometimes people will get very confused of like, well, I'm just trying to tell this story, like why is this bad, like it's just I'm not saying that like, you know, all black women are aggressive. I just wrote a, you know, no nonsense black woman character. It's like it's not that
as a white guy writing a story or a white woman writing a story. Yeah,
like and it's like, it's not that it's bad to be no nonsense. It's not that it's bad for a black woman to be no nonsense. It's not that it's bad for no nonsense black women to exist or whatever. It's just that like, for if you're talking about a specific identity, when you're looking at like perspective of depictions of that identity and how those depictions serve to like, you know, reinforce stereotypes and stuff like that, it's like for specifically for black women, that is like just been done over and over and over again, and is very lazy, and is just people kind of cribbing each other's ideas and perpetuating like stereotypes about them, like being like not feminine and stuff like that. And I think that like that's the deal for like queer stories, is it's like, oh, it's a gay story, it needs to be a Moonlight, it needs to be like so sad and everyone has to die and like nobody gets what they want, and like, you know, or if you do,
it has to be like the best you're gonna get is yearning, right? You're gonna get no release, you're gonna get no like happiness, or like no, maybe you'll get a like epilogue wrap up where like things might vaguely get better sometime in the future, but they can't be good right now. And Heartstopper's like, no, you can like live and be happy. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like trauma porn almost. Sometimes it's like people watch it and feel like, oh wow, being gay is so hard, and it's like, yeah, like a series like this is being like, this is what the world could look like a little bit. It's like, this is what, like, if we're all comfortable and accepting of everything, like this is what it's gonna be like. You know, we're still gonna have these trials and tribulations, but it's gonna be happy.
The phrase that came to my mind is like, yeah, gay people still have to go to the grocery store. They still have to like do the dishes. Like, they still have to like be in society and have normal everyday problems that don't have to do with their identity, right? Like, got to do the laundry, got to do the dishes, got to go to work, you know, like, and media misses that. Now, I will still say, it's a pretty boring package that I found largely uninteresting and lacking of any stakes or intrigue. But that's okay, because it's one of one in that scenario, basically, like, on this subject matter.
Yeah, I will say, and now we'll get more into the beef. The thing that I was like, you know, like night one, I have to watch season 2. I'm like crazy about this, as we all know, is the Ellen Tao romance. That is like, so it was like the main thing. I was like, oh, in season 1, I was like so really just normal about it, and then season 2 came, I was like, oh, like we gotta watch and see, and baby, like that is good, and that is like my thing that I was most hooked into in season 2. And I think that season 1, they did a lot of the Nick and Charlie stuff, and Nick and Charlie are kind of spinning their wheels a little bit in this season, even though there is like all sorts of different stuff happening with it coming out, and some delicious Ben conflicts. We can talk about that too. But I think that like the Ellen Tao romance,
I cannot.
good.
The show definitely like did some like character rehabilitation with Tao. I found Tao annoying in the first 3 episodes and very much similar
Sim
to season 1
hates
Tao, right? Tao famously not a Tao fan of season 1. I found
I
him to
love
be
Tao.
like, you know, those kind of things where it's like, why is anyone friends with this person? That's how Tao felt to me in season 1, where you don't get any of him being like actually there for his friends. It's all insecurity all the time. But I liked that he had some like self-awareness in season 2. I thought particularly like the moments where the show like I like the back half of season 2 maybe the most of anything I've seen in the 2 seasons I've watched, right? And in the back half of season 2, Tao is dating Ellie or Elle, kind of, and is like everyone. I like how everyone expects him to be like. It's almost like dealing with an abusive person, where everyone's like, "Well, how's he gonna react to me getting into the college of my dreams?" But he knows it, and is like has a pretty good reaction to it, right? And is like, I know that you all think I would be weird about this, or that you specifically would think I'd be weird about this, Elle. I'm not going to be weird about this. I'm happy for you, right? And there's moments where he goes to send Instagram messages that make my blood boil and deletes them and sends nicer ones. And I'm like, okay, he's learning, you know?
He's traumatized. He's like a little wriggling little fish, and he's like, she's just trying to not get abandoned so hard, and it's
I
not
understand
good
that.
what he does, and he's just, yeah, he's a sweet boy, and he's good. I like him. So kind of funny.
He grew on me this season, but the first 3 episodes, it was like back to the old shit. Going to be another season of like, why is anyone friends with this guy? And he pulled it back. Also, weirdly, I did not expect the Tao-Nick friendship to blossom. And those are some of my favorite scenes in this season, particularly in the final episode where, like, the two of them have a very nuanced conversation about Charlie. And I was like, it's a little like, what is it? Like, I never thought I'd die fighting next to an elf, or what about a friend, or whatever. We got that kind of energy to it. And I'm like, all right, this is the show making interesting choices I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, it's good. I think that like I don't know. I was thinking about like what do I love about Tao so much, and like
Well,
he
you've been
is
known,
like
you have a representation for loving a diva.
he cares about his friends loudly. That's said by someone. I think Elle says that. He cares about his friends loudly, and he is on the front lines, and he's passionate. And it's like, it's abandonment issues at the wheel, but they're not always at the wheel. You know what I mean? I feel like my reading of him is that he is like the one that is willing to go to bat, like for this kind of stuff, and he's always ready to protect people. And there's a scene. I think this is what I love so much is he's the token straight of the friend group. He's the only straight one in the entire like main core group of friends. And
Imogen erasure, but okay.
Well,
at least as far as season 2 goes. I mean, I know there's some longing looks at the bassist girl on the stage at the
Sahar,
end, and I'm like, okay, everyone's gay. And
Imogen
you're gay
is
for
confident.
watching it. It's got that kind of energy to it. And I'm like, okay.
And it's like they're like, yeah, everyone here gay, including you, and like they all turn to the camera, and like
yeah, a little
the, like screen goes black, and you're reflected, and you're the angel,
and you are the Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's like I think that like he is the token straight of the group, but he's just so like. The scene where they're having to spin the bottle at the party and he crawls over to kiss Charlie, I'm like, that is like what I love about him, is it just zero, he doesn't care.
Zero inhibitions.
He's
like, yeah, he
down.
He will fight
for the bit.
Any battle for you. And then in season 1 where there's a lot more like what I would call very silly, like Harry is a very silly character to me, where it's like, it's not homophobic. Like he's like the most like generic villain ever. Tao is good in those scenarios of just being like, yeah, you suck, rugby guy. And it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's nice. I like that he's always there and like ready to battle. Harry is so good in this season. the the Harry arc in this season is crazy. I know we were.
I like
the one.
the one-off joke about like, did he just defend us unintentionally when they're on
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower? Good bit.
It's really good, and there's a really good line, and it's like kind of ad-libbed. Is because I wrote it down. Is like because the kid goes like did you give Charlie that hickey? And he's like, yeah. What, you jealous? And then the kid has the reaction, I'm not gay. He's like, yeah, like leave him alone. And they're like, did he defend us? And then there's just an ad-lib part of Harry go like, you got your own problems.
I will say there's a couple of moments in this that like walk up to the line of like, I went home and wrote a fanfic about how I won this argument. Like them talking to him at the door, and it's like, well, no one wants you in this party because you're not cool, and everyone thinks you're lame. And then shut the door. I'm like, all right, like this is a little wish fulfillment-y, but that's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
we're here to
But I would
fulfill
say
wishes. Alice
that's
Oseman is
fine.
the little fairy that is granting us all of our desires. The other thing I love, one of my favorite Harry scenes is oh well, okay. There's also the dinner where like Ben calls Imogen a bitch, and he's like, "We don't have to call her a bitch." I'm like, "That's funny."
Yeah, I like Ben being not the sin eater, but like essentially being the person of scorn for like the entire class. Like I'm like, damn, this like, even though he's a jackass, I was like, felt kind of bad for Ben in that scene because it's so public. Like a public breakup is like the worst thing ever.
Amazing. It's and then Imogen is just being like I deserve to be treated better. I need to be on my own and discover myself. She's so fucking. She just like doles out all the best lines. Imogen's amazing.
I tried to keep some of my reactions a secret from you, but I did send you like a damn Imogen just can't catch a break. Where it's like she falls in love with a dude, he's bi and already in love with someone else. Falls in love with another guy, he's closeted gay. Just can't. Imogen just taking L's left and right. Like.
Yeah, and then I think that like, but it's just funny. It's good. But the best part, sorry, I interrupted you, but the best part is Harry and Isaac in front of the Eiffel Tower. They get paired together, and there's just a scene as Isaac's like, "Are you being serious? You didn't have some of that." He's like, and he's just like leaning back, like, it's just a joke. Isaac's being like, you need to think about what you usually have any empathy. That is one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing. And then after that happens is when he defends them on the Eiffel Tower, is when he says, don't call Imogen a bitch. And then you're like, whoa. And then he wants to go to the gay people party or whatever, and he gets
that
kicked
actor
out,
has such a good like shit-eating grin where like he's apologizing but not really, and it's clear that like if you let him in this door, he's just going to cause problems. Like, he's either going to be, like, bad with alcohol or, like, bully. Like, he's got such a, like, King Joffrey, like, look to him where it's, like, don't let him in. But at the same time, it's, like, the way it's written is a little basic. I don't know.
It's really funny. And then, yeah, like, even in the party, he's like, I can't believe Nick's the only one who's got a date. You know, he's all accepting now. It's like, I'm like, I love his arc. He's good. That's Harry Watch for you.
Harry Watch.
It's really funny.
Is Harry the diva of the evening? Is Harry, when you think about it?
There is a clear, obvious diva of the evening, and it's the literal assaulter, Ben. It is the like, why are you upset? You hate me so much. He has so many good lines.
That's another moment where I think the show is more nuanced, and I did like register with it, where like I like the idea of this has become more of a common idea, but like forgiveness isn't like does have to be earned is more of an idea now than it was back in the day. But just like I'm happy that you're trying to work on yourself, but I don't want any part of it as like a nuanced, reasonable human reaction to like, hey, you assaulted me and I and you like some kind words aren't going to change that, basically.
Yeah, and like even
It's
in
interesting
that,
watching.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good. I feel like he's even like a little performative in his like where he's like, you know, you really meant something to me. Like he's still kind of like being weirdly flirty.
Another
like, while he's
moment where the
apologizing
face
to me.
acting is really good. Like that guy
Yeah,
plays
he's amazing.
nuanced bad person or like misunderstanding person really well.
Yeah,
And the visual of like the LGBT rainbow that like the ocean that he could step into and chooses not to, very solid.
That's one of my favorite scenes of the whole thing. Like that fills me up with it's so quiet, and you're watching it, and it's like you said, he's kind of the sin eater of the show. Like he kind of is like the worst and does the worst things and doesn't really get redeemed. That moment, you're just like, oh my god, and then he walks away, and you're like, wow. And it's like it suddenly it takes you from being like, yeah, Charlie, tell him, like, fuck this guy, to being like, oh man, I want him to get better. Like you just really want him to, because he's gonna go off and you're never gonna see him again. Like he's clearly like left the show, and like you just are like, man, I hope he jumps in the water one day and just like is able to come to
in a show where everyone talks about their feelings all of the time. I think the more the quieter scenes like that really stood out to me as like pretty excellent in a show that's very talky feely all the time. Like I think the one that made me like weirdly the most emotional was it's Tara and Darcy. Darcy's the blonde.
Oh my god!
girl.
Yeah, Darcy's the blonde
Elle's
one
friend?
who. Yes.
The scene where she's buying the prom like suit jacket, and everyone just gives her some money for it, and they don't like say that like she doesn't. You don't know yet that she doesn't have support from her family. Like there's a little bit of hints here and there, but like a character who talks nonstop is like overwhelmed, doesn't say anything. It's a very sweet moment. I got a little like I didn't quite get to Misty, but I was like talking about it right now. I'm like that resonated, and it was very
That made me
cry
cry right
and very
now.
sweet. I am gonna make you cry.
It's so cute.
It's very
really
precious.
sweet. Yeah. I think her character is done really well, I think, this season in the like the just deflecting and like she is like such a real type of person to me that is like I'm like that sometimes where I'm like obnoxiously
Make
being,
everything a joke. Yeah, no, I found that very resonating.
or just being like
that's not a dig at you, it's a dig at me, but like
oh, I see. Well, I like even there's that, but there's also the like being so like she is the character that will always shout out like, oh, you're being gay, awesome, like that kind of shit. Like she's always saying that like kind of just obnoxiously positive, countercultural.
It's
like,
not
kind
toxic
of needling
positivity, but it's almost there. Like it's a little much sometimes, and the characters seem to react that way, and it obviously like causes strife with her girlfriend, where it's like, can you be serious for a second, or can we have like an actual serious conversation?
Yeah, and it's like also in being so forceful, she's being very just like loudly like denouncing the idea of like any hate or anything in there. Like she is shining so bright and kind of casting that out of the room, like the doubt side of the room for a lot of situations. I feel like in a group space like that, kind of like being like yeah, the gays, we're awesome, like kind of stuff like is helpful, I think, in a way. But yeah, like this just shining so bright, but then she can't get help herself, like when it comes to being like Darcy, you're having an issue. Yeah, no, I can't pass my math test. Haha, lol.
Well, you slept in the park last night. That's bad. Like it is, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all that stuff got me. Her mom is real, like yeah. Yeah. Conservatives, man. I think that a lot of good characters in this show. Now back to Tao and Elle though, because I mean, I want.
Well, once Tao stopped being a complete like dickhead, I would say that their relationship became kind of bland, like immediately. I'm happy for them. But I would say that there was even if there's like if the drama level is like a 2 for Nick and Charlie, it's like a 0 for them. Like there's not much going on there.
But you're just like, why can't they work out when they have their whole fight? And you're like, no. And he planned the whole date wrong. And he went on WikiHow to look up what haircut he's gonna get. And
I did like that.
Have
Anytime
you ever?
the characters in this show like use the internet wrong, I'm just like, yeah. And Nick is like
Sam-
my favorite example of that, where he's like, "What is an eating disorder?"
Steve, this is real confession, honesty hour. You have to answer honestly. Have you ever gone on WikiHow and looked for what haircuts
For
are
dating
attractive
advice?
to women?
No.
Okay,
I would say
well,
probably like the lamest, the closest I've come to that level of lame is like men's fashion on like YouTube, maybe.
Yeah,
but
no,
it, like you
looked
can
up
like
haircuts.
you can pierce the veil and like instantly be sucked into like the Andrew Tate sphere or whatever. So finding like reasonable people who are just like, oh, you know, these colors go together is, I think, about the closest I've ever come to that. But I generally don't like that kind of stuff because I think it feeds into people's insecurity. It feeds into my insecurities for sure.
Yeah,
about like appearance
totally.
or what have you and confidence.
It's silly.
And so I try to avoid that kind of content. It bums me out.
And it led to the worst thing ever, which is losing the little hair thingies that were like the main best
true.
part. That
the
was
source
really
of power.
sad. He looks cool still. I like his look, but man, they were the source of his power. Like he was a warlock with those little thingies. Like, loved how the whole
Did
part.
you cut your hair for me? No, of course not. Like it's pretty good.
No, do you like it? You don't like it?
Yeah.
The L's arc, I just love, and the way it's just like, I don't want anything else to change. Let's just, all right, like I had a big change. Everything else needs to just hold on. Let's stay stable. And then like her conversation with Nick and the thing, and Nick like gives her the moral of the story or whatever, of just like, you know, like sometimes you just gotta kind of take a risk and just do what feels right in the moment, even if you don't know what's gonna happen. And then she's like, she's going around, and it's good. Sam is good, and I felt so emotional. And the kiss scene, Sam. This is Sam, listen to me. This is so important. Is
Which
when
one?
they have
There's like 1,000.
the first, the main one, which is the
Tower
first
L,
one,
the one in the Louvre.
Yes, and this is exactly what happened. I'm watching this with a couple of my friends, and they're sitting like across from each other, and he starts talking about like the Da Vinci Code, and he's like, I hate the Da Vinci Code. And I was in that moment staring at him talking about the Da Vinci Code and being like, wow, he's so hot. This is when I watched it the first time. Because for some reason, and I don't know what it is, but something about the way, like him being like, because I've just talked about how I hate when people are like haters on like, oh, this is lazy, whatever. But like him being like, the Da Vinci Code is the worst thing ever, and just like launching into a rant about it is just so hot to me. And then I was like staring at only him and not noticing it. And then like my friends were being like, Mal, like pay attention. And I was like, what? And then she like goes in for it. I was like, oh, and it was like good because
You gotta rewind it. We gotta see that again.
Yeah, we did. And we freaked out. And it was like, because I think that it's just like, I was there in the moment, and it's so cute. And then she runs away, and then he's like, no, come back. And then they kiss, and then the little foot goes up. I'm like, it's good to show, Sam. Okay, it's good that I've seen that. That's good for me. Okay, I think that it's unfortunately when you watch the way trans women, or, and I'm gonna say a big slur here, traps, because that's what anime characters are, is like they're not fully trans women, they're not really acknowledged, and they're just kind of like sex objects for like, here's a different flavor of ice cream for you, straight man, eat up, yum yum yum. Like it's just like they're just like a little like different sex genre that's like a weird thing or whatever, and like seeing a trans woman being like treated delicately, seeing a straight boy fret about how am I gonna please my wife, like that's trans, like that kind of stuff is like I don't know. It's like maybe not. I think maybe sometimes I want to be treated that way so badly. Maybe I put a little too much expectations on people, and I try to let go of that and just live my life. I'm not going to be treated like royalty. But seeing like just that little fantasy is like means a lot because you don't see it very much. It's that, or you're like the I haven't seen I haven't seen the Danish Girl, but you're like the tragic. You're like Amelia fucking Perez. Like it's Amelia
Right.
Perez is not a rare movie. It's like it's a worse telling of like a story that's been told a bunch of times, which is like a trans woman is weird and is she really a woman, and then she dies of like probably suicide or someone murdering her because she wasn't given enough resources. And it's nice to just have like she's just a little princess and she just needed to take her own agency into her own hands and grab life by her and grab the romance thing right there, and it's like okay, that's my rant. All right, so change my mind.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, like,
It's pretty boring.
well, I have the short for this week. Like beautiful, heartfelt like conversation. Yeah, it's fine. Obviously, you are going to feel a lot more for that. I'm not saying I'm making myself out to be like made of stone and have zero empathy
Right.
for someone who's not my exact experience.
I'm also framing. I'm setting up the comedic framing for you to then be like, yeah, it's boring. Like that was what that whole rant was for. So I'm
think
also
it is nuanced in the sense that I like the absence of drama is what makes this show stand out and this series stand out, right? I think that is I've come around on it in 30 more episodes of the Nobody Leaves podcast, where I think that like it's a feature, not a bug of Heartstopper, that there is no like let's bully the trans girl like scene, right?
yeah.
And the Harrys of the world are easily dispatched or like easily dealt with
yeah.
in Heartstopper season 2 and 1. I don't think the show ever got as like I'm actually feeling really bad for these characters as the first season with specifically the scene of Charlie and his dad in the car, and like that like I thought was pretty emotional and sad, and I was like I'm really like touched by this for a moment. It kind of it stays at like a simmer, it never boils over. There's not like a blowout fight or what have you. And again, I think that's all fine and dandy, and I'm happy that it exists, even though I find it kind of tedious to watch. One thing that we haven't talked about, and it's kind of the last thing I have in my podcast notes, because I did take notes for Heartstopper. Again, it's the first time a series has ever had notes in 2 different sections of my podcast notes. I thought the eating disorder stuff was handled incredibly well, where it's in the background for so much of season 2 and probably season 1 without me realizing. Like, I thought, like, how they handled, like, how you don't talk about things like that and how you pick up on the subtle cues of it and you dance around the question, and how that kind of, like, Charlie and Nick dancing around that conversation paralleled, like, the, Darcy and Tara, right?
Tara and Darcy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like not saying what you want to say or like not telling you I love you kind of thing. Like I thought like those being like parallel narratives that you can track throughout the entire season, I thought it was like really well done. And I thought that's an issue that I feel like is talked about even less than like LGBT issues, right? Of like eating disorders. Like it's like it's a wrinkle I did not expect in Heartstopper, and I just thought was really well done.
Yeah, no, I think it is like it's foreshadowed in season 1 because it was in the books. Like there's like but like season 1 it's even more subtle, where it's like it's not in ways like it doesn't emphasize it to the viewer as much, but if you follow it, it's like when they go to the movie theater, Charlie doesn't eat popcorn. Like when they go to this, like it's like Charlie will always like deny food basically. Like that's just, but it's like a minor note. But it's like made to be more noticeable in season 2, where it's like you as the viewer being like he's going to Nick's house and then being like, oh, I ate at home, or I'm gonna eat at home, and then he goes home and it's like, are you gonna eat? No, I ate at Nick's house. Like, it's I think it's good and like helpful and like arguably maybe even more helpful and impactful of like all the things of like that the way that eating disorders work and like signs to look out for. It's like it's just kind of showing you, and I feel like, you know, especially younger people watching this, it's like increasing the level of awareness to kind of look out and be like, maybe like push a little bit more for normalizing of like, hey, have you eaten today? Or like, let me like bring food to make sure you're good.
Because it's something that's
like,
so personal to the individual, right? Like you're never going to tell someone what to order at a restaurant. And so it's like, how do you navigate that without being like a helicopter friend? And it's like, it is, the way that he deflects with it, I thought was like some of the best acting from the actor who plays Charlie. Like I thought, like how he kind of like downplays it after fainting in the museum. Like I think all of that I thought was just like very, very well done.
Definitely. Yeah. And like, yeah, the like breaking that like how to break that conversation in a way that's like, you know, respectful, I guess, you know, it's tough. And it's, and like the same with the, like the talking about like self-harm, like in the last episode as well. I think it's like, it's less foreshadowed necessarily. But it's like, I don't know. It's such a weird topic because I feel like growing up, there was just a thing of like, yes, cutting is something that kids do for attention. Like that was basically what I was told by like adults and in the media. It's like, and like, you don't want to be an attention seeker, so don't do that. But it's like, I think that like, just being like, yeah, this is a fact of like people do this, you know,
people
like,
do this. It's
like
common. It is.
We've all known people who do this. It's like, yeah, and just having it like be a conversation that sits there, and like Nick goes home and he hasn't fixed it, you know, and he can't control Charlie and make sure it never happens again. And there's like the like, can you let me know if you feel like that again? Like, but it's like, you know, that's the real teen stuff that's going on.
And the fact that like Charlie having a boyfriend who loves him and who is now out by the final bits of the like season, it doesn't fix everything, right? He still internalizes bullying. He still has like he still could be tempted to self-harm or to in multiple different ways. Like it is. It's more nuanced than I didn't expect it for Heartstopper, like candidly, and I thought that it was done very well. And I'm sure that that's going to be like a big focus of the third season that I have not watched. But
no, it's definitely set up. Yeah, it's cool. No, I'm glad that resonated because I think it's a very like mature. I think like it's kind of. It can be heavy-handed in some ways, and it is very much a like PSA show. It is like very clearly has like a position that it takes like on these different issues, and that it is an agenda that is trying to push that is good. And I think that like there are moments where maybe it's like too much. There are moments where it's maybe alienating to people who aren't like, you know, part of XYZ community, because it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But it's like, you know, they're real things and they mean stuff to people. So it's like, even if it maybe sometimes comes at the cost of the show or the cost of it having like a satisfying narrative or like dramatic arc, it's like, I like seeing it. I almost like Heartstopper for like what it represents. And like, I'm like, I would love to see more stuff like this incorporated into other stories, like the way that it handles mental illness, the way that it handles different identities and like a representation of them. Which, speaking of which, the last thing I wanted to bring up was asexuality, because this is really gotten my goat about Heartstopper. I think I was
I've
looking
never
up
seen
online.
a show like say the term
Yeah.
asexuality, let alone have like
Right.
an asexual character, right? Like, you may not know this, but we've covered a series that people put asexuality onto a lot, which is One Piece. But I know I could have said anything right then. You wouldn't have expected it, but One Piece, I know.
It was
A
Call
lot
of
of
the
people.
Night, everyone.
It was not maybe, but
Yeah, it is. Hey,
It is.
hey, asexual people, get over to Call of the Night.
It's surprisingly good. Ignore
Tell
the
Sam why he's
character
wrong.
designs. People make interpretations of characters as being asexual, right? That's a common
Right.
thing with Luffy from One Piece, believe it or not. But it having it be like, no, this character is asexual, or this character is experimenting with, or like that's the wrong word, but like is interested
Toying
in
with these labels, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, like is considering this as like their identity or his identity. That's representation in a way that's just not seen in media yet, really. Like, that's an idea that's like on the fringes for people, like, just don't get it or don't understand it, and I thought it was well done.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think that like I was just really passionate about it because it's like the original Heartstopper. So Isaac is a character that was not in the original Heartstopper comic. There was like a different fourth friend who I believe was like on the asexual spectrum, but was like, I think he like, I'm pretty sure like in the comic run he ends up like dating a guy, but he's asexual, like he's just not aromantic. But then Isaac was introduced as like an aromantic asexual character to be like, and it's kind of hinted at or seems like you get vibes of like, okay, what's his sexual, like what's his deal? He's just the fourth friend that's around reading
I
books
will say
in
this is
season
another
one.
part of the show where I'm like, didn't we already know this? But I guess we didn't. Like, I feel like there are multiple times where he's reading a book that like says I am asexual on it. I know it's not that extreme, but it is a little bit like
Yeah.
moments where I felt like I think the thing's already been known or resolved or said, and it's like, no, this is actually like being confronted for the first time. Like, for sure,
Yeah,
I thought that his character
definitely.
knew this about himself, and I was surprised that he did not.
Yeah, it's I think it's like that's why the thing, okay, like it's tough because I was like I was trying to like find reactions to this like storyline online, and like most of what I saw from like asexual people was literally the exact words that you said, which is like, I've never heard a person say asexual on TV, basically, like like, and being really happy about the way that the storyline was depicted, and like the different elements, like the trying, like someone has a crush on you, so you try to reciprocate it just to like see if it goes somewhere. Like, I know that that's a very common experience, like
Or just being constantly put in like societal situations that emphasize romance, like a school prom or a spin the bottle session. Like, it is, he is like, there's so many scenes of him like sitting on the couch and like next to him is a couple like flirting or making out or whatever, and it's like, that's tough. Yeah, feel for this character.
Yeah, like all his friends coupling up, and then there's the Darcy, like that's like the, I was saying like the positive side of Darcy's like super optimism, but like that's like the negative side where she can, she's trying to be really loud and proud, but that can like go a little too far when it comes to like pressuring like people,
Just
like
making assumptions, right?
Yeah. Like she's trying to make assumptions that are countercultural and like go against the like heteronormative thing, I think, which has maybe a good political agenda, but is like kind of steamrolling Isaac in this situation, and it isn't good, and is probably going too far. And I think like, yeah, like him kind of like having his like outburst moment, and then like the frustration, and yeah, I don't know, there's some really nice, and then like the detail, like he hears about the concept of asexuality, and then he gets his little Heartstopper leaves that fly by, and you're like, That's sweet. That's good. That's cool.
Saying
At the
that the
same
Heartstopper
time,
leaves don't have to be about romance is like the most is a
yeah.
great like little detail.
Yeah, like they're about like finding something that resonates, that plays the little chords on your heartstrings or whatever. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I think at the same time it's like there were parts where I wished, I guess I don't know. Maybe my opinion was like to me I was like, oh, this is the asexual character, so I was like following it. But then I was watching with people who were like, oh, is he gonna be gay? Like it didn't quite clock it, I guess.
Mhm.
And I think like I wish. I guess I wish he had like confided to someone about it, and it's kind of it works.
It's
I
missing
guess.
like a Charlie Isaac conversation, I feel like.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like, I think that this, like, one thing that Heartstopper in its structure in general does good is it's like trying to like decenter romance as like the end all most important relationship, right? It's like trying to
Mhm.
have a little bit more of a balanced view, and it's like anytime a character is like focusing only on their like romantic thing to the detriment of their friends, like that's bad.
Right.
Like it's bad when Charlie does it in season 1, and it's bad when Tao is like fixating on how he's going to be alone, and like Charlie's able to like reciprocate and like do the lock scene, which is the best scene in the whole show. But like
I like when they hug at the fire party personally. I think that was very sweet.
so cute. Is really really cute. But yeah, I think like that's the thing, like the Charlie and Tao, they get like several scenes throughout. I really wish we had more like Isaac. I think the 4 of them don't feel like a friend group enough in this season. Like I wish there were more, like I wish Isaac leaned on Elle for a scene or something, or leaned on Tao or Charlie, and talked about some of these things. Or
No, yeah, they get
you
little
know
moments like the prom photo, which I thought was very sweet. But like
yes.
because like the concept of like going stag to a prom, even if you are asexual, like that's still got to sting, and it's still got to be like not a very fun situation, right, to be in. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to prom, I didn't have a date for prom, and I was like, I don't want to go stag. It's just like an awkward like scenario. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure
felt some
I
sympathy
tried
there.
to pressure you into going, and I
Probably.
was a bit of a Darcy in that.
No,
I think I tried
not
to.
in any way that I like remember really, but yeah, I was just like, I'm
I
not gonna
remember
go.
doing some bad stuff, and I'm really glad. Have a specific memory about that, and I'm glad that you don't remember it.
I don't. I'll have to ask you off camera, but yeah.
It was annoying, but yeah, I think that yeah, no, sorry, you were saying it that like the going stag has to like it can be it's viewed in a certain
Well,
way,
like that's a thing that like me as the straight white person watching this show, like I can put myself into that character even if it's not like I don't consider myself asexual or like I don't have like
right.
a label on it or what have you, but it's just like it's normalizing people in an identity that you don't have, but also making it like relatable to everybody. And I think that's like a very effective little moment in that episode that's got a lot of other stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Like it's doing the same thing that like the Nick bisexual coming out thing in season 1, and like the like Charlie suffering from like gay bullying scene, like all of that stuff, like those are less uncommon stories, but like the reason like they get told the way they do because they're humanizing gay people. Like you might not have been the victim of bullying for being gay or being the way you are, but like you can connect different aspects of yourself to it, and it's like it's like you haven't had the experience of like, not only am I like going stag, but like there's no way that I'm ever gonna not go stag because I'm never gonna like be in love type of thing, because I just don't feel that way.
Right.
But like you can,
But going
you can
stag
relate
still
to the being left
feels
out
lame,
and being
right?
with,
Like it.
yeah,
Yes.
like the societal judgment around being single, basically. Which you can kind of be like, hey, this is bad for everyone. Like this isn't just bad for asexual people.
Right.
Like we should destigmatize a lot of this stuff and prioritize and value friendships, like as much as we do with like romantic relationships, so that we're not like ignoring like our one friend and just all going over this like new shiny thing. But then also, yeah, like drawing attention to specific issues of various people where, yeah, like that it's more likely to happen to them, I guess, like, or they're more likely to have fears and anxieties about it, at least to my understanding. I'm very passionate about that specific representation. I want to see more fucking media with that, and that's why I'm very passionate about calling Call of the Night Ace and claiming it for the aces, because that's what I do. I pick different series and I'm like, this is this now, and you can't.
Who are you claiming for the aces? Sorry.
Call of the Night guy.
Oh,
Whatever
Call
his
of the
name
Night
is.
guy. Co.
Miss Co. Yeah. Yeah, that's my asexual conversation.
I have bad news for you. That series gets more heteronormative as it goes along.
If I'm being so honest, this isn't about Heartstopper.
You
like
looked it up on
to
Wikipedia?
canon
What'd you do?
him. No, I haven't. I like the idea of him being demisexual or heteroromantic asexual. That's my feeling. Because
I see.
demisexual would be like you're not, like it's struggling with the thing he has where it's like it takes a lot longer to like form a relationship and like all that kind of stuff to, yeah. Or he's maybe like, you know, because the vampire thing is a metaphor for sex, so then it's like maybe he's not sex repulsed and he's okay with it, but he's like not, he just doesn't feel that way, and like that's like at the heart of his like issue, you know. But we'll see. Maybe it is just about a straight guy. But Sam, what do you think of Heartstopper Season 2, Tal's Requiem? About the Ballad of El?
I like how giving it a better. I titled it in my notes Heartstopper 2: The Revenge. I like how ranking this season higher than season 1 is in my own way like still deriding this show, even though I am gonna give it a C. Like I like that I'm still a contrarian somehow.
C for cool.
C for cool. I thought it was neat. I can't say that I felt a lot of high emotions watching it, but I think it is a nice, simmering, good show. And I appreciate it more than I once did. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I wanna be a Mona Lisa.
My heart of stone grew three sizes too big and then shrank back down a little bit.
And then shrank back, yeah.
I need to call her a bitch.
Well, Sam, that was a really lively and a really enlightening discussion, and we were really became more erudite from it. So what a great day. We've had fun here today on the Video Leagues podcast.
Hey, we had fun. We worked hard, and we're still great friends. I don't know if there's a Talladega Nights quote in there somewhere.
This is the Heartstopper of Nobody Leaves. We're being like, that was very good.
Yes. We've had a very good conversation about Heartstopper. A nuanced show about romance and other things too. Yeah. Throw that out. Here's the new plan, right?
All right.
Let's talk about kaijus. Let's talk about demonic action. Let's talk about basic straight romance. We're going back to Dawn to Dawn. Season 2. I deny you an S rank once again because of how the timing works out. So,
I'm so
next
excited.
week, Dawn to Dawn Season 2. It's happening.
I already watched episode 11, so I'm ready. I'm very ready for this.
You're very ready
for this conversation.
You got characters to meet, Mallory.
Yeah, I've made the fact that I've made 2 video essays about this season, I think probably shows that I'm very invested in this topic. So I'm going to be very excited, and I hope you all tune in next week to the next episode of Nobody Leaves. Until then, Sam, I hope that you have a really wonderful rest of your day.
I hope you have a good evening, Mallory.